Hey guys, today in SAO Integral Factor, we are going to test the Massive Blow Klein skill. This skill has an Aqua conversion 4, which says that the fire element damage minus 10% and water elemental damage to enemy plus 23%. We're going to test it using the fire and water skill against the enemy that is weak and not weak to the element, and see how the damage difference between them. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more SAO Integral Factor content. So, to start with, I'm going to show you the set that I'm going to use to test these skills. I have prepared these two sets that have a very similar stats. It has exactly the same attack stats and a slightly different defense start, as you can see in here. So one of them is going to use the Massive Blow Klein, and the other one is not using the Massive Blow Klein while keeping the stats pretty much the same. On the attack set, I have both the Yu-Gi-Oh water skill and the Kirito fire skill, and the third and the fourth set are different. That the first one is going to be the buff skills, and the second one is going to be an attack skill. And this one is just being used to easily distinguish between which set I am on. So the one with the buff is going to have the non-Massive Blow Klein skills, and the one with the attack is going to have the Massive Blow Klein. So let's take a look at it against the Alicization Offense chicken monster again in here. And so we'll start with the one without the Massive Blow Klein, and with the fire skills, as you can see, I'm doing 9,300 to 9,900-ish. That's quite a big jump. But let's see how the damage is gonna be with the other sets. So let's try it out with the water skill now, which it's doing around 36,000 damage. And we'll try a few more times to see what the average damage is. It's again almost the same, 36 to almost 37,000 damage. And it's the same thing, 36,600 damage. Okay, let's switch it to the second set and start with the Yu-Gi-Oh again. It's hitting 40,000 damage, so we got quite a big increase in there. It's around 4,000 damage increase. And this monster is weak against slash and water, just like my Yu-Gi-Oh skill elements there. And again, it's hitting 40,000 damage. So we can see quite clearly how the damage increases with the water skills. Let's see with the fire skills. It's doing 9,000 damage now. And this one is 9,600. So it seems like, yeah, 9,164. So it seems the damage is getting, we can see that it's a bit lower than before, even though it's still on the same average. Before we have around 9,300 to 9,800, and but this time we're going with the 9,000 to 9,600. It's only a 10% decrease, but let's take a look at it again with the second set. Oops, I got the wrong skills used against the monsters. And nah, this time it's doing 10,000 damage. 9,700. So you can see quite a difference in there. It's only 10%, so probably it's not that much. It's still going to be in the same range. But yeah, so the one without the Massive Blow Klein is doing more damage when we use the fire-based skill. It's because of the 10% damage reductions when we use the Massive Blow Klein. Okay, so let's see how this skill works against the enemy that is not weak against the water element. This time we're going to fight against the bear, who is weak against thrust and wind element. So it's not weak against slash or water element. And see, using the same set, we'll see how the damage is. Now start with the fire. It's doing 4,800, 4,886, and one more time, 4,757. So the damage stays around 4,800 pretty consistently. So I'll just do a few more hits and then we'll switch it up to the second set and see if the damage actually changes. Because this monster is not weak to fire or water. And as you can see, the damage increases to 5,373. And this monster is not weak against fire. So the conversion actually applies to the skill and not to the element that the enemy is weak against. That was what I thought previously. This is quite interesting, and it increases the utility of the skills. So we will take a look into the water element, which I would suspect that it will be doing the same thing as well. But let's take a look at the damage and compare the damage against the one that we tested before with the enemy that's weak against water. So this water skill is doing 15,600 damage without the Massive Blow Klein. Let's do a couple more to see to get the average. That one is 15,400, and we'll keep on healing up because I was using the energetic silica just to make sure the damage is the same. So that last one is 15,600, and I think we have quite an average of 15,500-ish. And when switching up to the other set, the Massive Blow Kleins, it's doing 19,000 damage or more. So as usual, we'll try a few more just to get the average damage out of it. So that one is 90,300, and let's try a few more. And this one is 19,100. So it's increasing from 15,000 damage to around 19,000 damage there. And it's just almost a 4,000 damage difference. And if you remember the test from previously against the chicken monster that's weak against the slash and water, it's increasing from 36,000 to 40,000 damage, which is about the same increase, 4,000 damage. And this thing is actually quite interesting in my eyes. I don't know about you guys. Usually in SAO Integral factor, when we have a damage addition, the damage will be multiplied against the enemy weakness as well. But in this skill, with this skill, the damage actually does not get increased when we were fighting against the enemy that has a double weakness. So I think it's because the damage increase is added against the weapon skill itself instead of the enemy weakness, as you can see on our test in here. Well, let me know in the comment below if you guys are finding this interesting like me, or if I do something really wrong to get this unexpected result. But let's summarize what we've seen so far. So Massive Blow Klein skill has effect that will reduce the fire skill damage by 10% and increase the water skill damage by 23%. This effect are applied against the weapon skill, which means that we will still get the damage increase even if we fight the enemy that are not weak to fire or water. With that trait, the damage increase stays the same when we use it against the enemy that are weak against water, even with the additional damage from Yu-Gi-Oh skill that usually get multiplied by the weapon. And that's it for the video, guys. And I'll see you next time in the next SAO Integral Factor video. Bye now.